Well, hello and welcome back to Stopbox here live from Resourcing Tomorrow for our last live broadcast of the day here on Wednesday. We've had a very busy day. We've been walking around the store. Got a lot of different companies though, which is really nice. And as I said earlier, I've seen a few UK companies here, which I'm surprised. UK mining companies. I'm joined, of course, by Charlie Stevenson, geologist. Charlie the Geo, as he used to be known when he used to do podcasts here with Stopbox. But you're in a new capacity now, aren't you? Where you assess companies, I suppose, for the company you work for. But what do you think of the event? I mean, the Cornish Pavilion's down there, Peak Nickel as well, a very British company up in Scotland. What's your vibe from this show to these last few days?
Well, thanks, Mark. I probably should caveat anything I say here is views of my own.
Of course.
But for a market that's been pretty subdued, this is a big conference. There's a lot more people here than I think last year, and the quality of projects has been pretty good. When you started interrogating them about where they're deploying capital, how they've deployed their capital, I feel that there's been good quality value for money for people being deployed.
You think people have been prudent with their capital then in this tough year?
Certainly some of the ones here.
Okay.
And you've got to have a real reason to be coming to a place like Minds and Money and presenting at these conferences, because it's not cheap.
Yes.
You've got to have a real reason to be doing it, and it's not a holiday for people to go and spend someone else's money. So no, what is really nice is turning up, talking to people, and realizing these guys are deploying cash in the right way, and this is a way for them to kind of just show it off and show off what they've been able to succeed over the last couple of years.
Okay. So you had plenty of meetings. You've been packed.
Yesterday afternoon, that was my back-to-back schedule.
Right.
Today, a little bit lighter. Probably managed to space them out quite nicely, but it's meant I've been able to go into a little bit more depth on the projects, and it's been interesting. It's been very interesting.
Has anything stood out to you while you've been here?
I'm not going to give away too much, but there's been certainly a couple of good projects that have, they're going to be added to the pipeline. We'll be doing some more follow-up meetings with those companies.
Okay.
And it's an interesting time to be looking at.
What about commodities? You're getting a sense for what commodities might be hot? Because I was talking to lots of different people, and I've heard repeatedly gold, silver, copper, repeatedly. Then I've heard nickel. I've heard bauxite, uranium as well, cobalt, bauxite. That was a new one on me.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. What do you make of it?
So I've been talking to some guys about bauxite today. It's an area I need to really do some bit more research on.
Me too.
Infrastructure is what I understand from it. But from my understanding, that there are some disruptions on the horizon with that commodity.
Okay.
So there's a good macro thesis for it. Look, the places where it is predominantly mined are, I'm guessing Brazil. You've got some places. I'm thinking about Southeast Asia, but I don't know. I don't know too much about it, so I'm not going to go too much into it. The other commodities that our particular exposure that we're looking for is energy transition thematic, and responsible mining projects.
Okay.
Nickel is one that we certainly have stayed a little bit off from, but then when I'm talking to a lot of these projects, it's about where you are on the cost curve, I guess.
Okay.
And if you are in the lowest quartile, there's always an argument to be putting that into your portfolio.
Tin as well, I heard as well.
I love tin.
I
used to work on a tin mine over in Rwanda, so I've got it's got a soft spot in my heart.
Okay.
Challenging when it comes to defining it from a resource point of view. Generally speaking, they are very nugsy. You've got to do a lot of drilling into them to really define out where the resource is going. But it's really simple. You've got the right metallurgy, nice bit of cassiterite. You can process that quite simply with a relatively low capex. So the kind of projects I get quite excited about, because for a small startup company, that is a realistic chance of actually putting that to production.
Okay. Now, can we go through some companies that you perhaps can talk about?
I can give
Nations Royalty. Can you talk about them?
I better not make any comments because of who and where I sit with, but
Okay.
I can make a quick comment, I guess, on Nations Royalty. It's one of those companies that I'm quite interested on how they are using indigenous royalties in their portfolio.
Okay.
And I think that's quite an exciting company to look at.
Okay.
But I don't want to make too much because, of course, the association
Sure.
with the strategy that I'm part of.
Yeah, indeed. I know you mentioned Next Source as well, and I interviewed Next Source years ago.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I did a special on sort of the energy transition. It was Next Source, Guyana as well, and another company whose name I can't remember right now. But Next Source were the most advanced. It was the lithium company, Bradhead.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Who was on that panel. And yeah, Next Source is the most advanced of that. But I mean, I haven't spoken to Next Source for a while. I mean, can you give us any update on where they're at the minute?
Well, let me give a bit more of an overview of the graphite space with NextSource, because they are an interesting project. They're trying to get round, like a lot of other specialty materials, this issue of you're producing eventually a battery grade chemical or product. That means that you're not just like I want to say regular mine producing a gold concentrate, gold doré, or copper con, or a tin concentrate, which generally speaking, pretty standard. They're sold into transparent markets. These materials are going into specialty areas. When you're talking about a CSPG product, a purified spherical graphite product, different off-takers want different specs to what they're looking for, and you have to go through something called qualification. To go through qualification, you have this chicken and egg situation where to get debt financing to build your mine, you need product to give to the OEM to basically qualify, to quantify that you are hitting their specs, to give you that offtake agreement, to then get that debt financing. People are doing this multiple ways. They are finding groups like NextSource are. They found a plant which they are going to basically copy and paste over, and so they're qualifying themselves through this through a plant that's already in existence. Alternative ways would be how Guyana, a manganese company who we've invested into, they're building a demonstration plant, smaller scale. Put it through that, produce that qualifying material, get the offtake. Once you've got the offtake, go to a bank and get some nice commercial debt to build a fully full-scale operation.
That's good. Okay, well, that's nice to get a few insights there. So, are you here tomorrow?
No, I'm sadly back in the office. 2 days is enough to completely wear me out.
Yeah,
so it's been go.
But what will you be going back to the office? So you obviously, I know you can't say too much, but what vibe will you give back to the office? What can you feed back from the event? Not just on, well, I guess two things. Yeah, the sentiment in the sector, but also perhaps, where you think the sector might be heading and what commodities to look out for.
So the market is excited at the moment. There is the macro thesis. I think there's two push and pull. Push and pulls, maybe not the right word, but we know that Trump is going to be the leader of the free world next year. There could possibly be a bit of a honeymoon period, and that could be an exciting time for marketing companies. Looks like quite particularly exciting is going on downstairs.
Lots of flashing going on, the hydrogen fuel,
guys. That looks like a football team.
No, it's not a football team. It's they're from the university in the Netherlands. It's for the hydrogen fuel car.
Oh, is it? Okay. No, pardon me.
Yep. So anyway, but
terrible commentary by me. I'm so glad that isn't my job. Where are we talking about? Sorry.
Yeah, where you think this? You said this excitement in the sector.
Excitement in the sector. Exciting Q1. A couple of these companies here I'll definitely be watching, coming out with feasibility studies or additional some really nice extension drilling campaigns. So should be exciting.
Okay, good. Now I did say before I finished the last broadcast, have you seen the flamingo down there?
I have.
Do you know much about it?
I haven't.
Would you like to know about it?
I would like to know about the flamingo.
There is
Yes,
a
it sounds great.
QR code that you can scan, and it gives you information. So it's made from recycled metals and machine parts. The sculpture is in the form of a flamingo. These beautiful birds live in harmony with their local flora and fauna, and this is how mining needs to be. And there's a lot more information.
Beautiful and poetic.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So a flamingo and a hydrogen-powered racing vehicle. And do feel free to have a go on the car simulator. I was pretty terrible. It's been a long time since I've played video games.
I've just seen that. That's a great idea.
Do that before you leave.
Okay.
Charlie Stevenson, thank you very much for joining us here live from Resourcing Tomorrow. That signs us off for all the live stuff. We might be doing one or two tomorrow morning. We've got, who have we got tomorrow? I need to remember. Mineria Alamos and Quattro Metalis tomorrow morning. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching Stopbox today, and good night. Thank you, Charlie.
Thanks, Mike. Beauty.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stopboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.